episode of Arena Talks, and today we will talk about the chilling adventures of Sabrina. This adaptation of the Sabrina the Teenage Witch takes a dark coming-of-age story that traffics in horror and the occult. In the remaining origin story, Sabrina Spellman wrestles to reconcile her duality nature, half witch, half mortal, while standing against the evil forces that threatened her. Her family includes Aunt Hilda and Zelda, and the daylight world humans inhabit. Kim and Skipka leads the cast in the titular role of the show that is based on a comic series of the same name. So the connection to Rivendell with Sabrina is very great. I have said that in the last episode as well. I really love how Greendale, that is Sabrina's town, it's almost similar as in Rivendell. And like I said, it's very, very nice to see how much they look alike. And, it's just like, I don't know, it's just, you can see where it's coming from, and that they combine those two series. I think it's brilliant. But also, like, you maybe could have expected it. And this is a really great crossover. And like, what is the in Rivendell, what's happening in Rivendell, of course. And but I do ask myself if Blossom and Sabrina have more connection than they let on, because it is like I don't know, it's just those two just could be the same, I must confess, when Netflix gave the promo trailer out, I was skeptic, because normally I'm not someone who likes horror and dark movies, horror and thriller. I don't like those. But this series has triggered me something that I was thinking, okay, I'm good. But that's like the same with Wednesday. I never thought I would like Wednesday as I do. And I must confess, lately, the series that I'm watching, they are very, they were better than I thought initially. And so it's funny to see how this is all working out. Of course, we have characters that we like and characters that we don't like. Well, if I start with Sabrina, in one way I didn't know how or what I think of her, because how farther you come into the series, how more darker she becomes. And, well, like we know, Sabrina is a half human, half witch, and she's a teenager who attending Baxter High. But she's also starting her dark education. What was really weird to see that she is walking those two worlds. And of course, she hoped to have, she's trying to maintain her normal life, but how more she is being into her dark education, how more she changed, and how more she I don't say wouldn't expect from her, and especially her friends. Of course, she has her friends that really is a big part of her life, and it is not easy to conceal that you are a witch. Of course, we know that she is being raised by her two aunties, because when she was a baby she became an orphan because her parents have been killed by I thought it was Faust that was had them killed. I must say I don't like Faust, and well, we come to that later. She also lives with her cousin Ambrose, who is often a source of comfort and aid for Sabrina. And I must say, I always have liked Ambrose. Not because he is more an ally for her, but also like he was more or less, I think, more a mentor to Sabrina than her aunties. Although I must say, in this series, what I really loved that was that Aunt Hilda, was had fallen in love and married, and yeah, that was one of the highlights that I was thinking. Okay, yeah, that's really really nice that they paired her up, and like in the Sabrina the Teenage Witch series, Aunt Hilda is the comfort mommy auntie with that who always bake and have a good word, a positive word, and that made me a little angry that Aunt Zelda always killed Hildy, and I didn't like that. I never, in that way, I didn't like it when in the Teenage Witch, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, I didn't like Zelda there, but also in this series, I don't like her. But I must say, Miranda Otto is doing a great job with it. I really liked how she acted in this way, and I think this is how we see Zelda. And then of course we have Sabrina's first boyfriend, Harvey Kinkle. We know him, of course, and he's very charming, but also he comes from a witch hunter family, and I think that is one of the reasons Sabrina ended their relationship, because Harvey was a long time her boyfriend, and then Harvey was dating Ross, the one of the best friends of Sabrina, and she is also a witch. Well, more like, and that's what I did like this, because but we see Mama Marie. Mama Marie is a voodoo priestess. She, Agatha, and Ross are witches who has the ability to see, so they can see in the universe, etc., etc., and in time. So they become one of the three weirds, and of course we have the weirds of Agatha and the two others. Those are, it's like always they say, I fought always with witches 3 is a coven. So they are the 3 weird sisters, but you also have the weird sisters, as in, of course, Mama Marie, Ross, and Agatha. So that's King Harville Kinkle. It is nice that they still have used him in this series, because it is something familiar. And maybe, yeah, who knows. I hope that we see a little bit more. I hope in the next season, because I believe this is not the end what we saw. I think there's 3 or 4 seasons of this series right now. Then of course we have Zelda Spellman, and Zelda is one of the 2 aunt witches. She's very stern, more than Hilda. She is the one who always clashes with Hilda over their different beliefs, and also because Hilda is very protective and caring of Sabrina, and of course we know that. And she often cares for the mortals too, despite her contempt for them at times. She's also a member of the Church of Night, and she became even the High Priestess of the Coven, as she at a later stage she departs the satanic beliefs, and she decided to worship the goddess Hecate. So like I said too, I like Hilda Spellman, also in the 90s version. And, well, I always find her motherly, and she has a warm sense of humor. And, of course, you know, and it is true, that's why there are, like, kitchen witches on this planet. You have witches who are very good at baking and cooking and those things, and they are like also very skilled in brewing poisons and cooking from nature, and you see that because Hilda is one that is very connected with nature, differently than Zelda. And that's what I didn't like about Zelda, because Zelda would murder Hilda just because she could. And she always walked over Hilda. But in this series, I really love it that Hilda is marrying Dr. C, and that she moved out of the Spellman household, what was really weird. And that was the point also that Zelda discovered what it is not to have Hilda helping her with the mortuary, and also like being with Hilda together to get those witch business done. Well, I do must say, I really love the storyline, because it's not just like you don't only follow Sabrina, but you also follow all the other characters and how the coven is and what they are doing. And yes, it is very dark, it's very satanic what they are doing, but they are it's an maybe another look on the dark side. And the thing I do love about this series is it is not there is a follow-up in episodes and storyline, and I think it intrigues me how Sabrina trying to balance this her life as a teenager, but like half mortal, half witch. And comment to say, I don't think the devil, who if it is in human form, or I don't think he is that strong in this series. Because if you see, for example, Lucifer, the series Lucifer, Lucifer Morgenstern is a lot more sadistic and powerful than the Lucifer Morgenstern in this series. And what we see is that the women in this series are a lot stronger than men. And that is one thing I really like about the series, is that it's really female orientated. And we see there was a period after Zelda married Faust that she became the headmistress of the academy, and also she rejects Satan as her god and follows the way of Hecate. And what I really love about those witches is that they all have their own abilities, and it's just like, it's nothing like charm or the other one. Can't remember who, but yeah, it's just like, I really like the storyline and how everything goes. And there's one thing one person I really have liked, and I think he also got his he got in trouble with the warlock rules, and that's Ambrose Spellman. And he is a warlock, also from England, of course. And 9 out of 10 times he is the partner in crime of Sabrina. And it is just really nice to see that she has a companion and somebody she can trust, in a way of Ambrose is always be there for her. He was formally forbidden from leaving the Spellman's home because he has been placed on the house arrest by the Witches' Council because he made an attempt to blow up the Vatican. And that is the weird thing of too. You would say, because they are worshipping Satan, they would applaud that, but they actually punish him for that. Well, he's also the one who made autopsies on the bodies what comes into the mortuary of the Spellmans. And so he's also kind of a doctor. What I noticed, by the way, Ambrose is the only one of the witches who use a wand. So I'm wondering if that is also a... So what we see is that Lilith, she called the Madam of Satan, and she's the first wife of Adam from the Garden of Eden. But she steals the identity and body of Mary Wardwell. Mary Wardwell was one of Sabrina's favorite teachers and mentor on Baxter High. She is very cunning and manipulating, and I think she attempts to groom Sabrina to take her place as Satan's foot soldier. So she could be rising as the queen. And I don't know. In one way, she is good, but she's also super bad. And I don't know if she is one of the, how can I say? I don't know if she will be really the queen of hell, because that, being the queen of hell, that is Sabrina's birthright, because she is a child eventually from Satan or the devil. And we see that later. Sabrina was thinking of having a clone, a doppelganger. So we have Sabrina Spellman and Sabrina Morningstar and Morningstar. And in one way that was very confusing. Then of course we have Ross, and she is one of Sabrina's good friends, and her grandmother has been going blind, and so she will have the gift of seeing. Ross has the same ability, and that's why she is forming with Prudence Blackwood and with Madame Marie, and they would be one of the weird sisters in seeing. And well, you see through the whole series that Ross is coping with knowing that she's going to be blind, and in the other hand, she asks Sabrina for witch powers to undo that. And I don't know if what I find that whole episode with Sabrina helping Ross, I think that's very, it was like, I don't know, you don't use your powers for that. And I personally, I would say, okay, I'm going blind, but I have this gift, and it is it's in it's just, you have to give us something up for the gift you have. And of course, in the end, we see that she is dating Harvey, but was really weird in a way. And then we have, of course, that Ross discovered that she's a witch, and I'm not surprised by that. And it reminds me a little bit of Hocus Pocus 2. That new, the new leader of the coven, and she is also this gifted, etc. And she reminds me of that. And of course, we have a little bit back to Mary Blackwell of what's her name? Mary Wardwell. She reminded me of the oldest Bingley sister in Pride and Prejudice. When she was so manipulated and yeah, she did things to save her own skin. And what we also going back to reminds me of another good friend of Sabrina. That is Theo, or she is born as Susie, but she's a transgender boy. And I really love it how they did this, because it is still not accepted in our society. So I'm very intrigued how they did this in the series, and how big of a role Theo is going to play after that. And I always liked Theo, and I'm very proud in that way that he is coming out of who he is. And I'm very surprised that his father accepted it. And I think also that how more we are, of course it isn't a major part of the whole adventure of Sabrina's, but I think this is a major point in society as well. So they did a good job to how the way they did it. Talking about Sabrina's boyfriend also, we had Nick. And Nick is the one who has been shorted by the Dark Lord himself to become close to Sabrina and manipulate her to be one of Satan's foot soldiers, or as he'd been known as the Herald of Hell. Nick is like such a playboy, and in the beginning I didn't like him, and only after when he went to Sabrina's world, to Baxter High, then I stopped liking him. And also, like, the only thing is he has to be paid for what he did to her, and we saw that he went to hell and was like a jester and etc. But I don't know, it's just like Nick was not really the person I would pair Sabrina up. But maybe that's just because, and that is not a weird thing, but you see, she has a boyfriend in Baxter High, as she had Nick in the underworld and in the academy. And although Nick always helped her, he's very flirty, and I think that makes him the player. Of course, I have talked a little bit already about the Weird Sisters, and the Weird Sisters always assist in of 3 people. Most of the time, it's 3 witches. So the leader of this Weird Sisters is Prudence Blackwood, and she is she is the illegitimate daughter of Faust Blackwood, and she, of course, is she's a student of the Academy of the Unseen Arts, and she holds a personal grudge against Sabrina. And here we are. She is the leader of the 3 of the Orphan Witches, who've been called the Weird Witches. And she revealed later that Father Blackrod had plans to get revenge for all the witches in the coven. I must say, I never liked her. But since she had this relationship with Ambrose, she's becoming more better and better. And she will hunt her own father down because Father Blackboard, he is not so kosher. And then of course we got Agatha, and I confused her with Prudence when I talked about her before. But also Agatha is one of the hearing sisters that can hear the song from a pagan god Pan's flute, and that makes her go into madness, and that'll lead also that she will kill her own sister Dorcas. Dorcas is the other weird sister. I never liked her, by the way, but okay. At the end, Prudence would take care of Agatha, and I think even Agatha had a sexual relationship with Faust. Faust, of course, is the former high priest of the Church of the Night and dean of the Academy. And he always has been in conflict with Sabrina. And he got into madness because he only craved power. And I never liked him. I really don't like him. He's just like pure evil. And I think that's why Sabrina always fought him off. That makes one of her reasons, I think, not to sign her book in the book. And that's only strong for her. I really like that she did that. And I'm glad that she is where it is. And, you know, the whole series of course, her birthday on Halloween, but also the whole situation between two worlds that collides. It's very nice to see that, and I really enjoyed this series. So if you're looking to what the rating is on IMDb, I'm a little shocked because I think that is too low. The rating on IMDb is 7.4. Personally, I would give it an 8.5. I really like it, and I'm really looking forward to a next season. Well, thank you for listening, and join me in about 2 weeks for a new episode of Arena Talks. The next episode is about the Big Bang Theory, and I'm having Jonathan Ford as my guest. You can listen, subscribe, and comment to Arena Talks on the YouTube channel or join the Facebook group. I also like to tell you about my other podcast called Girls Talking Track. And Girls Talking Track is a podcast hosted by two female trackers who will recap every 2 weeks an episode of Star Trek TNG. All the episodes will be recapped in chronologically following. Girls Talking Track is also to listen, to follow, and subscribe on Anchor, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, or on your favorite podcast app. Every 10th episode will be a video episode so you guys can see us when we talk about the episode. We also have a YouTube channel and a Facebook group where you can comment on the episodes. I will see you in 2 weeks.